What's up, sports fans? It's that time of year again, and though I am sad to see the summer start to come to its inevitable close, we are here for the NFL 2023-2024 season, week 1, picks and predictions time. Alright, we did it last year, we're going to be doing it this year, though I'm going to try this year to include the Thursday night game, hence why we're recording right here, right now. I'm still all confused. I'm wearing a baseball shirt, football hat, I'm all over the place, right? But why don't we talk about the week 1 matchups? Now, my picks for the week 1 matchups, I made sure, I said I'm picking a minimum of at least 4 underdog picks. You know why? Because week 1 is weird. Week 1 has always been weird. People are still shaking the rust off. It never goes the way that people expect. So I said a minimum of 4 underdog picks. Because most of the time, you look at any of the pick distribution for this week, and it's like 80s to 90%. Like there's a slim chance of the underdog winning and a huge chance for the other team, right? Week 1 never goes that way. So, without further ado, let's jump into the Thursday night game where I go against all of what I said, and we're going with the Super Bowl champions, the Kansas City Chiefs, to beat the Detroit Lions. I know some people are going to pick the Lions. Some people are going to go more underdogs than favorites this week. I know why, because week 1, as I said, is quite weird, but we are sticking with the Chiefs for our Thursday night game. Moving on is when we choose our first underdog pick. We are not going to go with the Atlanta Falcons because realistically they're not that great a team and stuff yet, and I'm not going to trust, like, you can look at the trades and who got what and all this stuff, right? And you can visualize, okay, well, they got this guy and this happened here and they traded this guy off, so this is going to be great for this year. They still need the synergy. They still need to play a couple of games before they find their rhythm. Week 1 and 2. You're into that stuff. So I'm going against the Falcons and picking the Carolina Panthers because, once again, this is where people start to shake the rust off and they showcase any new players added, any new roster changes, new coaches, new coordinators, stuff like that. Even small to large changes, you never know if it's going to pay off big, small, or not pay off at all. So we're going with the Panthers for that pick. Then we go for Cincinnati Bengals up against the Cleveland Browns. I like Cleveland, I really do, and I thought Cleveland might have Cincinnati's number, and it was a hard choice to go with, but we are picking the Bengals for that matchup. Then, this pick was weird to me. Jaguars are the obvious pick, even though they're in Indianapolis this week, but I don't know, man. I just don't trust the Colts. The Colts really are not very good. So I went with the Jaguars just because, though this was a really toss-up pick for me, I was not really confident in which one I picked here. It was actually the last pick I made, I believe. Then we go Minnesota, Tampa Bay. No question, the Vikings. I got the Vikings picked here. They're at home, and I got way more faith. Tom Brady left, sort of idea. So Tampa Bay is basically back to where they were before Tom Brady joined the team as far as I'm concerned. It is what it is there. Then the Saints against the Tennessee Titans. Initially, I picked the Saints. I initially picked the Saints. I changed it later on today to go with the Titans. Once again, this was not a pick to stick to my rule of making sure to pick enough underdogs for week 1 because it seems so obvious which teams to pick for the most part in week 1. Who's going to absolutely destroy the other team. No, I'm going with the Titans. I am going with the Titans. Actually, this one is a little bit against my better judgment. My initial reaction was still the Saints, knowing how week 1 is. But I feel like the Titans are just one of those oddball teams. They're going to lose to average teams, and they're going to beat a couple of the bigger names. I really feel that way, especially this year for them. So, but then we get a couple of very easy choices that we're not picking underdogs. We're going San Francisco up against Pittsburgh. Though that's a little closer than a lot of the other big blowout games, I'm still trusting the 49ers over the Steelers. Washington over Arizona. The Cardinals are probably the worst team in the league. They're competing for the bottom spot more than they're competing for the top. So I got more faith in Washington. Though Washington is still probably the worst team in the East Division, in the Cowboys division. the NFC East is still a very strong division. Just look at last year. We're still one of the strongest divisions overall if you look at the multiple team records, right? So, and then Baltimore Ravens over Houston. Yeah, I know I have to pick Houston a couple times this year because I kept getting burned on my Houston picks. I knew when to pick them, and I kept choosing not to because it was Houston, and yeah, and then I picked them, of course, when they lost. I had really bad luck with Houston last year, but I got faith that the Ravens are still going to win this one, though I think this is going to be a really close game. I'm going to keep my eye on that score. Then Chicago and Green Bay. Got to go with the Packers. I don't care that Aaron Rodgers has left. I really don't. As a not really a Packers fan or hater, I don't really care that he's left. The Bears are not good. They were not good last year. They weren't good the previous year. And Green Bay, one man does not make a team. Not out of a football team, one of the biggest rosters on the field at any given time in major sports. One man does not make a team. They can make a morale. They can definitely be an MVP. But Green Bay still was a contender for many years, not just because Aaron Rodgers was in the league, right? So, though I don't think Green Bay is going to do near as well without Aaron Rodgers, it doesn't mean that they're all of a sudden going to sit in the basement either. So, going with Green Bay for that one. Don't really know why they're much of an underdog. I don't really get that. And then Denver and Vegas. This was my last pick change. I picked Vegas against my better judgment. I don't like the Raiders. I've never liked the Raiders. But Denver is always inconsistent. Don't you feel that way? For the last couple of seasons, I feel like Denver feels like they're going to be strong. They've been so wishy-washy. Ever since Peyton Manning retired, they have been this wishy-washy team, which they all of a sudden will win 4 games in a row against good teams, bad teams, and indifferent teams, and then start losing to teams that have no chance, that shouldn't have any business being there, and for some reason they can't score more than 1 field goal in 4 quarters. What happens to this team is beyond me. You could argue plagued by injuries and stuff, but no, that's not the case. They are just this flip-floppy team. It depends on who woke up on the right side of the bed that day. You know what I mean? So I feel bad for Broncos fans, and where I'm not confident in the Broncos for being a solid team, I think the Raiders are going to take advantage of that. So I'm going with the Raiders. Then it's an obvious pick for the Eagles to beat New England Patriots. Never liked the Patriots anyways, and the Eagles, though, once again, as a rival to the Cowboys, are not my favorite team either. The Eagles are probably the strongest NFC team. Pretty much undisputed right now. They're the strongest in that conference. I don't really do the whole rankings thing, and I don't believe, what analytics will tell you is the best team and what is actually the best team are always 2 different things. But I think it goes undisputed. Even as a Cowboys fan, I'm not saying we can't beat the Eagles. We did last year. We did beat the Eagles and stuff. But at the same time, the Eagles are still on paper and on the field, still look to be the best NFC team. And New England is certainly not the best AFC team, so Eagles for that one. Then we go into Chargers, Miami. I'm going to go with the Chargers, though this was one that I flip-flopped around all afternoon with. I had the Dolphins, then I had the Chargers, then I had the Dolphins, but I initially picked the Chargers, and I think I just want to stick with my original pick there, because I already made 2 changes with the Denver-Vegas pick and the New Orleans-Tennessee pick. I made those 2 changes, so I didn't want to make 3 changes. And then right out of the gate, without even looking, I didn't pick Seahawks. I picked Rams. I said Rams right away, and everyone thinks I'm nuts. But I think that this is actually a really good matchup. I think the Rams are going to come out swinging, and I think Seattle's going to be overconfident that they can do a lot more damage, and the Rams are going to surprise a lot of people. LA, they didn't win a Super Bowl that long ago, and I know the teams have changed and stuff like that, but Rams still got something going on. They are not the Bears or the Cardinals, right? Not yet. And then we go into, of course, we're going to be doing not the Angels. That was more for the Chargers there. not baseball, but we're going with the Cowboys. We're definitely going to be doing the Dallas Cowboys up against the Giants week 1. Cowboys got the Giants number. They've had their number for a while. Unless we're shaking the rust off like a lot of these teams will be doing, and assuming that the Giants come out swinging without any rust whatsoever. I don't really see this being too challenging. I think we're going to score early, and I think we're going to be a little worrisome around, the beginning of the half, but then we're going to tie it up very easily by, the start of the fourth quarter, and then it's going to be at least a 2-possession game. So I got the Cowboys pick for that, and Buffalo is going to destroy the new New York Jets. And I mean the new New York Jets, because where did Aaron Rodgers go? Aaron Rodgers did not go into retirement, but he went to the Jets to give the Jets this fighting chance. Sort of like what Tom Brady, he said, I saw Tom Brady do that with the Buccaneers. I can do that with the Jets. And I'm not saying that once he gets a little bit of synergy with the new team, that he won't do exactly what Peyton Manning did with the Broncos, what Tom Brady did with Tampa Bay, and Aaron Rodgers may do this with the Jets. Brett Favre did it with Minnesota. I mean, elite quarterbacks are always going to be able to turn a bad team, a bottom team, into at least an above average team. So I'm not saying the Jets are not going to be a decent team this year, but Buffalo, I would argue they're one of the 3 best teams in the league right now. I would say it's Kansas City, Philadelphia, and Buffalo are the 3 strongest teams in the league. And I just don't see Aaron Rodgers being like, okay, brand new teammates, we're just going to go beat a top 3 team right now. Let's go do it in week 1. With no actual game experience with this new teammates. I don't see it. So that's, of course, the Monday night game. So we covered Thursday, all the Sunday night games, and the Monday night pick. What do you guys think? So even though I said a minimum of 4 underdogs, I actually ended up picking 5, according at least to the analytics that I'm looking at. But what do you guys think? What do you think of the picks, and who did you pick for week 1 of the NFL? Once again, I am part of a pool. I'll be showing you guys the score. Any changes I make last minute due to injuries or something like that, news comes out and stuff, that'll be updated, of course, in the next week's video if I made any last minute changes and stuff. But we're going to be trying to do a lot better than we did last year. I still think we did okay last year, but not great. We were average, middle of the pack at best. And this year, I'm hoping for better. So let me know what you guys think of the picks down in the comment section down below. Don't forget to let me know your picks as well. And we will see all you people back here for week 2 of the NFL. I can't wait to watch my Cowboys destroy in some Sunday Night Football. All right, everybody. See you back here next time, sports fans. Sayonara.